Hello everyone, DarkOfAllTrades here. Now, the quest for understanding the origins of our universe is as old as humanity itself. From the ancient musings of philosophers to the intricate theories of modern physicists, one question remains perpetually intriguing. Why does anything exist at all? Enter the Kalam Cosmological argument, a stalwart in the philosophical arena that claims to offer a compelling answer. With its roots buried deep in medieval Islamic scholarship and its branches nurtured by contemporary defenders like William Lane Craig, the Kalam promises to unveil the grand cause behind the universe's curtain call. But before we hitch our wagon to this cosmological horse, it's worth remembering that not all that glitters is gold. The Kalam, for all its rhetorical flair, has also faced a barrage of criticism and scrutiny. Like a magician's trick that dazzles at first glance but reveals its flaws upon closer inspection, the argument may not be as ironclad as it seems. In this video, I will dissect the Kalam cosmological argument, examining its premises with a keen eye of both a supporter and a skeptic. I'll present it before investigating its potential weaknesses. Along the way, we'll encounter some logical fallacies, some scientific challenges, and philosophical puzzles that make the Kalam a fascinating, if controversial, piece of intellectual machinery. So grab your philosophical toolkit as we take a look into this grand debate over the origins of the universe. Is the Kalam the philosophical equivalent of the theory of everything? Or is it just another cosmic red herring? Let's find out. The Kalam cosmological argument is a philosophical argument for the existence of God that has garnered significant attention in both theological and philosophical circles. To understand the Kalam, we must first delve into its historical background and then carefully examine its premises and conclusion. The Kalam is not a modern invention. Its roots can be traced back to medieval Islamic philosophy. The term Kalam itself refers to Islamic scholastic theology, which sought to reconcile religious doctrine with philosophical inquiry. One of the earliest and most notable proponents of this argument was the Persian philosopher Al-Ghazali. Al-Ghazali argued against the notion of an eternal universe, positing instead that the universe had a beginning and thus required a cause for its existence. Fast forward several centuries, and the Kalam finds new life in the works of contemporary Christian philosopher William Lane Craig. Craig revitalized the argument in the late 20th century, defending it rigorously in academic circles and popular debates. His formation of this argument remains the most widely recognized and discussed version today. At its core, the Kalam is elegantly simple, consisting of two premises followed by a conclusion. Here is a breakdown. Premise 1. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. This first premise asserts a fundamental principle of causality. Nothing can come into being from nothing. It appeals to our everyday experience and the intuitive understanding that all events or objects that come into existence must have a cause. Premise 2. The universe began to exist. The second premise claims that the universe is not eternal, but had a specific beginning point. This assertion is supported by both philosophical arguments and modern scientific evidence, such as the Big Bang Theory. Conclusion, therefore, the universe has a cause. Given the first two premises, the conclusion logically follows that the universe must have a cause for its existence. To many, this conclusion points to the existence of a transcendent cause, which they identify as a god. The cause of the universe, they argue, must be timeless, spaceless, immaterial, and enormously powerful, attributes traditionally associated with a deity. While the argument may appear straightforward, it rests on several complex philosophical and scientific concepts. To fully appreciate its strengths and implications, we need to explore these premises in greater detail and understand the justifications behind each one. In the spirit of intellectual fairness, it is crucial to present the Kalam cosmological argument in its strongest possible form before subjecting it to criticism. This method, known as steelmanning, ensures that we address the best version of the argument, giving it the benefit of the doubt and thoroughly understanding its appeal. Let's take a look at the premises. Premise 1 hinges on the principle of causality, which is deeply embedded in both philosophical tradition and everyday experience. This principle, famously articulated by Leibniz, posits that everything must have an explanation or reason for its existence. If something begins to exist, there must be a cause or reason for its coming into being. Philosophers such as Aristotle and Aquinas have long argued that causality is a fundamental aspect of reality. Without it, the world would be unintelligible, as events would occur randomly without any explanation. While quantum mechanics does introduce some complexities, proponents argue that even quantum events, which seem random, occur within a framework of causal laws. Virtual particles, for example, appear from fluctuations in the quantum field, which itself exists and follows certain rules. In the realm of cosmology, every observed event or identity, from the formation of galaxies to the life cycles of stars, follow causative principles. This consistent observation strengthens the intuition that the universe too must have a cause if it began to exist. The second premise is supported by both philosophical arguments and scientific evidence as well, challenging the notion of an eternal universe. The concept of an actual infinite number of past events is argued to be metaphysically impossible. Al-Ghazali and other philosophers suggest that an infinite regress of causes and events would lead to paradoxes, making it more plausible that the universe had a finite beginning. This thought experiment, devised by mathematician David Hilbert, illustrates the absurdity of actual infinities. If an infinite hotel has no vacancies, but can still accommodate more guests, it demonstrates how counterintuitive and paradoxical the concept of an actual infinite is. The prevailing cosmological model suggests the universe began approximately 13.8 billion years ago from an extremely hot and dense state. The Big Bang Theory provides strong empirical support for the universe having a beginning. This law states that the total entropy of a closed system will always increase over time. If the universe were eternal, it would have reached maximum entropy, a state of heat death, by now. The fact that it hasn't suggests a finite past. Now let's take a look at the conclusion. If both premises are accepted, the conclusion follows logically. However, proponents of the Kalam go further to argue that this cause has attributes traditionally associated with a deity. Since time itself began with the universe, the cause must exist beyond time. Similarly, since space began with the universe, the cause must exist beyond space. Being beyond physical space and time, it implies the cause is not material. The cause must be powerful enough to bring in the entire universe into existence. Some argue that only a personal being, as opposed to an abstract object, can initiate a temporal effect from a timeless state, implying intentionality. Proponents argue that these attributes closely match with those of a monotheistic concept of God. A timeless, spaceless, immaterial, and powerful cause that can choose to create aligns with the characteristics of a deity as understood in many religious traditions. By presenting the Kalam in this robust form, we can better appreciate its appeal and the reasons why some find it a compelling argument for the existence of God. But next, we're going to turn our attention to critiquing the Kalam, examining its premises and conclusion through a critical lens. Having presented the Kalam cosmological argument in its strongest form, it's time to turn a critical eye towards the premises and conclusion. In this section, we'll explore the potential weaknesses and counterarguments that challenge the validity of the Kalam. Starting with premise 1, everything that begins to exist has a cause. One of the most significant challenges to this premise comes from the field of quantum mechanics. In certain interpretations, quantum events, such as the appearance of virtual particles, seem to occur without a clear cause. For instance, particles in quantum fluctuations appear to pop in and out of existence spontaneously. Although this doesn't wholly undermine the principle of causality, it introduces complexities that the Kalam must address. Another critical distinction is between causality within the universe and the causality of the universe itself. Within the universe, causality operates under the laws of physics. However, it's not clear that these laws apply to the universe as a whole, particularly in the context of its origins. Some critics argue that applying the principle of causality to the universe's beginning may constitute a category error. This error occurs when one applies a category of thought inappropriately to something that lies outside that category. The universe, as the totality of space, time, and matter, might not be subject to the same causal principles that govern events within the universe. Let's take a look at premise 2. The universe began to exist. While the Big Bang Theory is the dominant cosmological model, alternative theories exist that do not require a beginning. Models such as the cyclic universe, where the universe undergoes infinite expansions and contractions, or the multiverse theory, where the universe is one of many, challenging the notion of a single temporal beginning. Some interpretations of quantum cosmology suggest the universe could arise from a quantum vacuum without a clear temporal beginning. These models often involved complex mathematical frameworks where time itself may be an emergent property rather than a fundamental aspect. The argument for a beginning often assumes the A theory of time, where time is dynamic and the past is fixed while the future is open. However, the B theory of time, where past, present, and future are equally real, suggests that the universe beginning might be a matter of perspective rather than an absolute starting point. Now for the conclusion. Therefore, the universe has a cause. Critics argue that even if the universe does have a cause, the cause does not necessarily have to be a personal being. An abstract, non-personal cause, such as a set of necessary conditions or a natural law, could potentially explain the universe's origins without invoking a deity. The leap from a cause of the universe to a deity with specific attributes, timeless, spaceless, immaterial, involves several assumptions. Critics contend that these attributes are not necessarily implied by the premises and that other types of causes could fit the bill. The concept of a timeless cause poses philosophical challenges. How can a timeless entity cause temporal events? This raises questions about the nature of causality and whether it can apply to a timeless being. Some argue that positing a deity as the cause introduces unnecessary complexity. According to Occam's razor, the principle that the simplest explanation is usually preferable, a simpler, non-personal cause might be more plausible. By critically examining the premises and the conclusions of the Kalam, we uncover several areas of contention and complexity. These challenges suggest that while the Kalam provides an interesting argument for the universe's cause, it is not without significant philosophical and scientific hurdles. Next, let's take a look into the specific logical fallacies that may underlie the Kalam and further critique its foundations. Despite its appeal and widespread use, the Kalam cosmological argument has been criticized for containing several logical fallacies. Identifying and understanding these fallacies is crucial to evaluating the argument's overall validity. Equivocation occurs when a key term is used in different senses within an argument, leading to a misleading conclusion. In the Kalam, this often happens with the term cause. The Kalam relies on our everyday understanding of causality within the universe, where events have causes, and extends this concept to the universe's origin. However, the causality we observe in our universe may not apply to the universe as a whole, especially when considering the origin of time and space themselves. The cause of events within the universe typically involves material and efficient causes. However, the cause proposed for the universe's origin is often described in terms more suited to an intentional agent, a personal deity, which is a different kind of cause altogether. Special pleading is a fallacy where one makes an exception to a general principle without justifying the exception. Proponents of the Kalam argue that everything that begins to exist has a cause except for the first cause, the universe's cause, which is posited to be a god. This creates a special exemption without adequate justification. Critics argue that if everything needs a cause, why doesn't the cause of the universe itself require a cause? By claiming the first cause must be timeless, spaceless, and immaterial, proponents make special exceptions for the cause of the universe that they do not apply to other causes within the universe. This selective application of attributes can be seen as a form of special pleading. A false dichotomy occurs when an argument presents two options as the only possibilities, when in fact other alternatives exist. Proponents of the Kalam often present the choice of either the universe has a cause, implied to be God, or it came from nothing without any cause. This overlooks other potential explanations, such as there could be naturalistic explanations for the universe's origins that do not require a deity. For example, certain cosmological models propose mechanisms within quantum gravity or multiverse theories. It is also possible that the true cause of the universe is currently beyond our understanding, and positing a deity prematurely closes off further inquiry. By looking into these logical fallacies, we can see that the Kalam may oversimplify complex issues and make unwarranted assumptions. The argument's reliance on equivocation, special pleading, and false dichotomy weakens its persuasiveness and opens it up to significant criticism. Understanding these fallacies helps us approach the Kalam with a more critical and discerning eye. Next, we're going to explore alternative perspectives and responses to the Kalam, providing a broader context for understanding the debate over the universe's origins. In addition to critiquing the Kalam cosmological argument, it is valuable to explore alternative perspectives and responses. This broader view not only highlights the diversity of thought on the topic, but also underscores the complexity of cosmological and philosophical questions about the universe's origins. The Kalam is not the only cosmological argument that has been proposed. Other variations provide different perspectives and insights, often leading to unique conclusions or further questions. The Leibniz contingency argument. Premise 1. Everything that exists has an explanation for its existence, either in the necessity of its nature or an external cause. Premise 2. If the universe has an explanation of its existence, that explanation is God. Premise 3. The universe exists. Conclusion, therefore, the universe has an explanation of its existence, and that explanation is God. Leibniz's argument focuses on the principle of sufficient reason and the concept of necessary beings. It doesn't hinge on the universe having a beginning, but rather on the necessity of an ultimate explanation. The Thomistic cosmological argument. Premise 1. There are contingent beings in the universe. Premise 2. Contingent beings require a cause for their existence. Premise 3. There cannot be an infinite regress of causes. Conclusion, therefore there must be a necessary being that is the cause of contingent beings, which is God. This argument, rooted in the works of Thomas Aquinas, emphasizes the distinction between contingent and necessary beings, and argues for a first cause that itself is not contingent. Atheists and agnostics often provide counterarguments to the Kalam, offering alternative explanations for the universe's existence or challenging the necessity of invoking a deity. Here are some alternative explanations. Some scientists and philosophers propose that quantum mechanics allows for the universe to originate from a quantum vacuum without a traditional cause. Models like the Hartle-Hawkins no-boundary proposal suggest that the universe could be self-contained and without a beginning in the traditional sense. Multiverse hypotheses suggest that our universe might be one of many, each with different physical laws and constants. This framework could provide a naturalistic explanation for the origin of our universe without requiring a deity. On to some philosophical counterarguments. The problem of divine attributes. Even if the universe has a cause, critics can question why this cause must have the attributes typically associated with a deity, timeless, spaceless, immaterial, etc. They argue that these attributes are assumed rather than demonstrated by the Kalam. For evidential arguments, atheists often point to a lack of empirical evidence for a deity and argue that naturalistic explanations, even if incomplete, are more consistent with our observations of the universe. Agnostics might argue that the true origins of the universe may be beyond human comprehension and that any attempt to definitively explain it is speculative. They emphasize the importance of acknowledging the limits of our knowledge and remaining open to multiple possibilities. By considering these alternative perspectives and responses, we can appreciate the richness of the debate over the origins of the universe. The Kalam is one of many approaches to this profound question, and its critiques and alternatives highlight an ongoing and dynamic nature of philosophical and scientific inquiry. The Kalam cosmological argument has captivated philosophers, theologians, and laypeople alike for centuries, offering a seemingly straightforward rationale for the existence of a transcendent cause, often identified as God. Through this exploration, I've traced its historical roots, presented its premises, and strengthened it by addressing the most robust defenses. We have also critically examined the argument, revealing logical fallacies and counterarguments that challenge its validity. The Kalam's appeal lies in its simplicity and its alignment with intuitive notions of causality. However, this simplicity also invites scrutiny, as the premises and conclusion rest on assumptions that may not hold under closer examination. The distinction between causality within the universe and the causality of the universe itself, the philosophical and scientific challenges to the notion of a finite beginning, and the leap from cause to a personal deity all present significant hurdles. Alternative cosmological arguments, atheistic responses, and agnostic perspectives further enrich the debate, highlighting the complexity of cosmological questions and the limitations of our current understanding. Whether one finds the Kalam convincing or flawed, its examination encourages deeper engagement with the fundamental questions of the nature of existence and the origins of the universe. Ultimately, the Kalam is more than just an argument. It is a starting point for a broader conversation about the mysteries of our cosmos. As we continue to explore these profound questions, both philosophically and scientifically, we remain on a journey toward greater understanding, driven by curiosity and a desire to uncover the truths of our existence. Here are some references for further reading. These resources provide a comprehensive foundation for the understanding of the Kalam, its critiques, and the broader philosophical and scientific discussions about the origins of the universe. By engaging with these texts, readers can deepen their appreciation of the complexities and nuances involved with this enduring debate. That's it for this one. So what did you think? Do you think the Kalam has a good foundation for starting intellectual conversations? Or do you think it's a tired old argument that needs to be laid to rest once and for all? Let me know in the comments below. I recognize the flaws in the argument, but I can also see why people like it so much. It is easy to understand, and on the surface, it covers all the bases in a neatly wrapped package. While I don't think it is a good argument, I do believe that with just a little bit of scrutiny, anyone, believer or atheist, can and do find the right questions to ask. If you like this kind of content, let me know. This is an educational channel first and foremost, and concepts like this are a lot of fun to take apart. So hit that like button to show you really like it. You can get more videos like this delivered to you first class by hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. And don't forget, if you want more great conversations or just have some suggestions, you can check out my Discord. An invite link is in the description. Some really great conversations going on there all the time. And speaking of first class, I have to give an extra special thanks to my patrons: Glamorous Anima, Sora, Long-Haired Lefty, Musical Ocelot, Ooga Booga Luga, Tarek Alkasab, Jamminbomb, Kai Henningsen, and Triple Towel, who are the cause to the effect to the cause of the universe that is my channel. If you want to be part of the infinite regression, you can join them for as low as a single $1 a month at patreon.com/DarkOfAllTrades. Though if you made it this far, thank you. You all mean the world to me. YouTube doesn't pay the bills yet, but I'm scheduled to get my second payout ever next month. Even if you don't or can't support the channel financially, just liking a video, subscribing, getting new people interested, sharing on your social media, especially in debate groups where people who are looking for more information on topics like this, all of that are ways that don't cost you a single unit of monetary currency. I really enjoy making these and interacting with you all. If I could do this as my full-time job, I know I would. I truly mean it. Thank you all. And as always, keep learning.